The sky above Earth was quiet at first, calm and blue. People walked in the city streets unaware of what was about to come. Then the air cracked with sound, a strange thunder without clouds. Lights ripped across the heavens, sharp and silver. Like blades, people gasped and pointed, children cried. Alarms began to ring. From the sky, a fleet of alien ships descended, glowing with cold fire. These were not friendly visitors. They came with banners of war and pride. At the front stood tall figures, alien warrior women. They were armored in shining metal, their faces sharp with arrogance. Their voices rang through machines that carried sound across the city. "People of Earth," one of them declared, "you are weak, soft, and unworthy of the stars." The crowd fell silent, hearts heavy with fear. The warrior women stepped down from their ship. They moved with power, each step echoing like thunder. They carried weapons glowing with energy, their armor marked with victories of past battles. Earth soldiers pointed their rifles, but the aliens laughed. "Do you think your toys can harm us?" One sneered. Her words cut deep, anger rising in the humans, but still they did not move. The alien leader raised her chin, her voice proud. "We have fought beasts greater than you. We have crushed planets stronger than yours. We came not for war, but for amusement, to see with our own eyes the weakness of Earth." Her companions laughed, the sound sharp and cruel. Their eyes searched the crowd, mocking, waiting for fear. Fear was indeed there, but hidden beneath it was something else, something stirring. Among the crowd stood one man, not dressed in armor, not holding a weapon. He was plain, simple, an ordinary man of Earth. His eyes, however, did not look away. While others lowered their heads in shame, he stood still. His heart burned not with fear, but with defiance. The alien leader noticed him, her gaze narrowed. "You, fragile one," she mocked. "Why do you stare at me with such eyes? Do you not know what we are? Do you not know what we could do to you in a breath?" Her words were sharp as knives. The crowd expected the man to bow, to beg. But instead, he stepped forward, his voice calm but strong. "I know who you are," he said. "You are nothing more than bullies hiding behind armor." Gasps spread through the humans. The alien women froze for a moment, surprised by his boldness. Then laughter erupted, cruel and echoing. The leader smirked. "Bold words for one so fragile, do you think courage will protect you?" But the man did not move. "Courage is more than protection," he answered. "It is what makes us human. It is what makes us stand even when the universe tells us to kneel." The aliens sneered, their amusement fading into irritation. The leader's eyes burned with challenge. "Then prove it, Earthman. Show us if your spirit is as strong as your tongue. Stand before us without fear, while we show you what true warriors are." Her soldiers grinned, their laughter cold. They expected him to collapse, to tremble and hide, but he did not. He stepped into the open space, standing tall under their shadows. His hands were empty, yet his stance was unshaken. Around him, the humans whispered, some fearful, some amazed, for in that single step, he had done what no one else dared. He stood. The alien warriors circled him, their eyes sharp, measuring, mocking. One spat at the ground. "This is what Earth offers? A lamb pretending to be a wolf?" The man's gaze did not waver. "A lamb may not have fangs," he said, "but it still knows how to endure. Try me if you doubt it." The words struck harder than weapons. Silence spread for a moment. Even the alien leader tilted her head. Studying him, she had fought countless foes, seen countless warriors, but never had she seen such defiance from one so ordinary. Something in her eyes shifted. Not respect, not yet, but curiosity. The humans around felt something awaken inside them. Pride they thought lost began to stir. Children clutched their mothers' hands tighter. Men and women raised their heads again. For this man was not just standing for himself. He was standing for them all. The alien leader finally spoke again, her tone sharp. "Very well. If you wish to show us the spirit of Earth, we will not deny you. You will face one of my warriors. You will fall, and your people will see the truth of their weakness." Her soldiers cheered, weapons clanging against armor. Their voices promised humiliation and pain. The man, however, only nodded, his voice steady. Then let the truth be seen, not the weakness of earth, but the strength you never understood, the crowd gasped again. The alien leader smirked, yet her eyes lingered on him longer than before. Suspense filled the air like a storm waiting to break. The challenge had been given, the battle was yet to come, and one man now carried the pride of all Earth on his shoulders. The alien warriors stood in a circle around the human man. Their laughter shook the air, cold and sharp. People of Earth watched in silence, hearts heavy with fear but also burning with curiosity. The leader of the alien women smirked, her golden eyes gleaming. She raised her hand and the laughter slowed, but it did not stop. "Do you believe," she asked, her voice carrying across the plaza, "that one man can stand against us? Do you think courage is stronger than power?" Her words stung, for everyone there knew the truth. The aliens were stronger, faster, trained from birth for war, and yet, this man did not bow. He did not look away. His face carried no fear, only calm fire. The aliens mocked him louder. "Look at him, no armor, no weapon, just flesh and bones," one hissed, another shouted. "He thinks his tongue is sharper than our blades." They laughed again, their voices filled with contempt. The human crowd lowered their eyes, shame and doubt filling their hearts. But the man raised his chin higher, his voice cut through their laughter like thunder. "You laugh because you fear what you cannot understand," he said. The plaza fell still for a heartbeat. The alien leader narrowed her eyes. "Fear?" she repeated. "You think we fear you?" The man stepped forward again, closer to their circle, his step steady. "Yes," he answered, "because deep inside, you know strength is not only muscle, not only weapons. True strength is standing when no one else will. And that is something you cannot control, cannot crush, cannot steal." The laughter weakened, not because the aliens agreed, but because their pride was touched. Their arrogance cracked like glass under heat. The humans in the crowd began to whisper. Their eyes lifted, hope flickered inside them. For the first time, the aliens were not laughing. They were listening. The alien leader tilted her head, her smile fading into something sharper. "Interesting," she said. "But words are wind. They do not wound. They do not kill. We live by the blade, the strike, the fire of battle. If you are more than words, prove it." Her soldiers cheered, slamming weapons against armor. Their voices rolled like thunder. But the man did not move back. His voice was steady. "I did not come to fight for glory. I did not come to fight for myself. I stand here because Earth deserves to be heard, and you will hear it whether you like it or not." His words echoed against the walls of the city, and this time the echo did not vanish. It stayed, heavy and strong. The alien warriors sneered, but their laughter had stopped. They could not explain why. Something in his tone carried weight, carried truth. The leader's gaze lingered on him. Her instincts whispered of danger, not from his strength, but from something else. Something she had never faced before. The humans in the crowd felt it too. The air had changed. The mocking voices of the aliens no longer ruled the plaza. Instead, silence grew, thick and powerful. The man's presence had stolen their laughter. His defiance had stolen their comfort. And though he was one against many, he stood as if the stars themselves were behind him. The alien leader finally raised her weapon, her voice sharp. "Enough," she declared. "If you wish to prove this strength of spirit, you will face trial. You will stand against one of my own. If you survive, perhaps we will see Earth with new eyes. If you fall, then your words die with you." Her soldiers roared in approval. The humans gasped in fear. The man simply nodded. "Then let the trial begin," he said. His tone was steady, his eyes unwavering. He spoke as if he already knew the outcome. The alien leader's smirk returned, but it was weaker than before. She gestured to one of her strongest warriors, a woman taller than any human, her arms scarred from battles fought across the stars. The warrior stepped forward, her weapon glowing, her smile cruel. "This will not take long," she said. The human crowd trembled. Whispers filled the air. Some begged him to stop, to run. Others prayed in silence. Children clutched their mothers, soldiers gripped their rifles but dared not interfere. For this was more than a fight. It was a test of Earth's spirit. The man stepped into the open. His feet touched the stone ground with firm weight. His eyes never left his opponent. He had no armor, no shield, no blade. But he carried something the aliens could not see and yet could feel. It pressed against them like invisible fire. The alien warrior circled him, waiting for fear to show in his eyes. But there was none. She lunged, her weapon flashing like lightning. The crowd gasped. The man did not move, not yet. He stood calm, watching, studying. His silence louder than any shout. The alien leader watched with narrowed eyes. For though she had ordered this duel to humiliate him, something unsettled her. Why was her laughter gone? Why was her heart uneasy? She could not answer. Around them, the silence of Earth grew heavier. The alien warriors who once mocked could no longer laugh. They watched, waiting. The trial had begun, but already something had changed. One human had turned their cruel laughter into silence, and silence, they realized, was far more dangerous than mockery. The alien warrior stepped forward, her armor shining like fire under the sun. She was taller than any human soldier, her muscles carved by years of endless war. Her eyes burned with pride, and her lips curved into a cruel smile. She spun her glowing weapon, the hum of its energy sharp in the air. The people of Earth trembled, for this was no game. This was death walking. The man, plain and unarmed, stood with calm defiance. He did not flinch when her shadow fell over him. He did not step back when her weapon came close enough to taste the heat. His chest rose and fell slowly, as if he had already accepted everything that would come. The alien leader raised her hand, her voice booming. "Begin!" she declared, and the warrior lunged, faster than the human eye could follow. Her strike cut the air with a flash of light. The crowd gasped, many turned away. Certain the man would fall in the first instant, but he did not. His body moved just enough, the weapon slicing past his shoulder, burning the air but not his flesh. The alien warrior blinked in surprise. Her speed was unmatched, yet this fragile human had avoided her. The man did not attack, did not rush. He only stood, eyes locked on hers. She snarled and struck again, blow after blow raining down. The ground cracked under her force, her weapon howled. Sparks flew with each strike. Dust rose. Soldiers of Earth shielded their eyes, sure their champion would be broken. Yet when the cloud cleared, the man still stood, bruised, sweating, but unbroken. His breath came heavier now, his arms scraped, his legs shaking slightly. But his eyes, they had not changed. They still burned with that steady fire. The alien warrior frowned. "Why do you not fall?" she hissed. "Why do you not surrender?" He answered with quiet strength. "Because surrender is not in me. Because every time you strike, I rise. That is what it means to be human." The words stung her pride. She roared and unleashed her full strength. Her strikes came like storms. The man was thrown to the ground, pain ripping through his body. The humans cried out, some begged for mercy, others wept. Children hid their faces, for it seemed the end had come. But slowly, painfully, the man pushed himself up. Blood touched his lips, his arms trembled. Yet he stood once more. The alien warrior froze, her weapon shaking in her hands. She had crushed soldiers, shattered beasts, and broken warriors. But never had she seen one so wounded still rise. The crowd grew silent. Every heartbeat echoed like thunder. The alien leader narrowed her eyes. Her chest felt tight, something she had never known. Unease. The warrior growled and struck again. Harder, faster, desperate to break this human who refused to break. Again he fell. Again he rose. Each time slower, each time weaker, but always standing. His body screamed with pain. But his soul did not bow. His voice rasped, but it carried across the plaza. "You can cut me down 100 times, but I will rise 100 more. That is the strength you cannot understand." The alien warrior stepped back, her chest heaving. Her pride faltered. Her cruel smile was gone. Now her eyes carried something else. Confusion around her, the other alien women whispered. Their laughter was gone, replaced by something heavier, for this man was showing them a truth they had never faced. The humans in the crowd felt their fear turn to fire. Men clenched their fists, women raised their voices. Children looked on with wide, hopeful eyes. For this man was no longer only himself. He was Earth. He was every dream, every scar, every hope of humanity. The alien warrior charged again, but her strikes were slower now, her arms heavy, her spirit shaken. The man moved with the last of his strength, his body bent, his knees weak, but he endured. He caught one strike on his forearm, the burn slicing deep, yet he did not scream. He stepped forward face to face with his enemy. For a long moment they stood locked in silence, her weapon at his throat, his eyes locked to hers. She searched, his gaze for fear, for surrender, but found none. Only fire, only truth, and for the first time in her life she lowered her blade. Gasps filled the plaza. The alien leader rose from her throne, her face unreadable. The warrior stepped back, lowering her head slightly, not in defeat, but in respect. The silence that followed was louder than any roar. The human man, battered and bleeding, stood tall. Once more his chest heaved, his body broken, but his spirit unbroken. He looked at the alien leader and spoke, his voice rough but steady. Now you see, our strength is not in our weapons, not in our flesh, but in our will. You cannot mock what you cannot break. The alien leader's eyes burned, pride battling with something new inside her. She raised her hand, silencing her warriors. Her voice came low and sharp. Perhaps Earth is not as weak as we believed. The crowd erupted in whispers. Humans felt pride surge like fire. The alien, warriors once mocking, now stared with careful eyes. For in this battle, something greater than victory had been shown. The test of strength had ended. And though the human was broken in body, his spirit had shattered their laughter forever. The duel had ended, but the air was still heavy. The alien warrior stepped back, her blade lowered. Her chest rose and fell with sharp breaths. She had fought many battles across the stars, yet none had shaken her pride like this. A single human man, unarmed and fragile, had endured her power. He had refused to fall, refused to surrender, refused to break. The people of Earth stood in stunned silence, their eyes wide, their hearts pounding. What they had just seen was impossible. The man had no armor, no training, no weapon, yet he had stood longer than anyone believed. He had shown something greater than strength. The alien leader leaned forward on her throne of steel. Her eyes narrowed, studying the man. She had seen warriors stronger, faster, sharper than him, but she had never seen such will, such fire in a creature so small. Her voice carried across the plaza, calm but dangerous. Why do you rise? Why do you suffer when you could surrender? What force drives you, human? The man, his body trembling, his wounds burning, lifted his head, his voice cracked but steady. Because I am not only myself. I stand for every human here. For every child, for every mother, for every dream. I rise because we rise together. That is what it means to be human. His words struck deeper than blades. The alien warriors shifted uncomfortably. Their mocking smirks were gone, replaced by something they had never felt toward humans. Doubt. Some even whispered. Their eyes no longer filled with laughter, but with thought. The alien warrior he had faced lowered her head. Just slightly, not in defeat, but in recognition. She had fought to break him, but instead she felt something breaking inside herself. Her certainty. She turned to her leader and spoke, her voice heavy. He should be dead, yet he stands. His spirit is not like ours. He fights with something more. The leader's eyes flashed. She did not like hearing weakness from her soldier, yet even she could not deny what she had seen. She rose from her throne and descended the steps, her cloak dragging across the stone. Her presence made the humans shrink back. But the man did not move. He stood, trembling but unshaken. The leader stopped before him, towering above his battered form. Her golden eyes pierced into his soul. Your flesh is weak. Your bones are fragile. Your strength is nothing compared to ours. Yet still you stand, Why? She demanded again. The man met her gaze. Because strength is not measured by how hard you strike. It is measured by how many times you rise when you are struck, and that is something you cannot take from us. The silence that followed was sharp like a blade pressed against skin. The alien warriors exchanged glances. Their pride was heavy, but so was their curiosity. The humans in the crowd began to stand straighter. A fire was lit inside them, for they had seen their brother, prove that Earth was not weak. The alien leader's lips curved into a thin smile, not of mockery but of interest. You speak with conviction, human. But words are dangerous, they spread, they grow, perhaps more dangerous than weapons. She paced around him slowly, like a predator circling prey, but her tone carried respect she tried to hide. The man swayed on his feet, his body broken, yet he did not fall. His eyes followed her, never lowering. If words are dangerous, he said, it is because they carry truth. And the truth is that we are not what you thought we were. We are not prey. We are not toys. We are survivors, and we endure. The alien leader stopped, her back to him. Her eyes closed for a moment. The silence stretched until even the children dared not breathe. Then she turned, her face unreadable. Perhaps you are right. Perhaps there is more to Earth than weakness. Gasps rippled through the alien ranks, for their leader never admitted doubt. Yet here she stood, considering the words of a human. The warrior who had fought him clenched her fists, her face torn between shame and awe. She had given her full strength and failed to crush him. The humans felt a shift in the air. The fear that once chained them was breaking, replaced by something stronger. Pride. Parents held their children tighter, not in fear, but in hope. Soldiers lowered their weapons, not in despair, but in belief. The man's body finally gave way, his knees shaking. He stumbled but caught himself, refusing to fall in front of them. His voice came weak but strong enough to reach all ears. You came to mock us, to laugh at our weakness, but you have seen our spirit, and you know now spirit does not break, not even under your blades. The alien leader studied him for a long time, her face unreadable, but her silence spoke more than her words. At last, she gave a single nod. Your spirit is strong, human. Stronger than I expected, perhaps stronger than many I have faced. Whispers broke among her soldiers, their voices uneasy. Some even lowered their weapons, not out of defeat, but out of respect. The human crowd began to cheer softly, voices growing louder with each breath, for they had seen it. The spirit of humanity revealed. The man stood broken but victorious, his spirit shining brighter than his wounds. He had faced the storm and endured. He had faced their laughter and turned it into silence. He had faced their strength and revealed a greater truth, and as the alien leader turned back to her throne, her mind heavy with thought, one thing was clear. This man had changed something forever. The warrior women had come to mock Earth, but instead they had been forced to witness the unbreakable spirit of humanity. The plaza was still. The echoes of the duel hung in the air like smoke after fire. The alien warrior had stepped back. The human man still stood, his body broken, his breath ragged, but his spirit unshaken. The crowd of humans watched with wide eyes. They had never seen such defiance, such courage, and neither had the aliens. The leader of the warrior women returned to her throne. Her golden eyes scanned the plaza. She saw her soldiers whispering, their arrogance shaken. Their laughter had died, now replaced with quiet awe. This was not the reaction she had expected. They had come to mock, to humiliate, to show dominance. Yet here they were, watching a fragile human stand tall. The alien warrior who had fought him bowed her head slightly, not in defeat, but in something even stronger, respect. She spoke to her leader, her voice carrying weight. He should not stand, yet he does. His will is sharper than any blade. We cannot call him weak. The leader's jaw tightened. She did not like her soldiers praising an enemy, but she could not deny what her own eyes had seen. Slowly she stood, her voice carrying across the plaza. This battle is ended, she declared. The human has proven his spirit, and though he is broken in body, he is unbroken in will. The humans gasped, Their hearts leaped. For the first time, the alien leader's words were not filled with mockery. The alien soldiers shifted uneasily, their pride challenged. Their eyes no longer looked at the man as prey, but as something different, equal. The human man lifted his head, his voice, rough but steady. "I did not fight for myself," he said. "I fought for Earth, for every voice you tried to silence, for every life you thought worthless. And now you see, you cannot break what you do not understand." The alien leader's lips curved slightly, a smile not of cruelty, but of recognition. "Perhaps you are right. Perhaps there is more to Earth than weakness. Perhaps your kind has earned something. Today," the words spread like fire. Her soldiers stiffened. Some could not believe what they heard. Others lowered their weapons, confused, torn between pride and new respect. The humans in the crowd began to cheer, first softly, then louder. The sound rolled through the city like thunder. The alien warrior who had fought him stepped closer. She looked into his eyes and said, "You have earned my respect, human. No soldier of mine has endured as you have. You fought not with blade or shield, but with spirit. That is rare, even among us." The man nodded weakly. His body was trembling, yet his eyes still carried fire. "Respect is not given, it is earned," he said. "And today Earth has earned it." The leader raised her hand, silencing the growing noise. Her voice cut across the plaza. "Hear me, warriors. Today we came to laugh at Earth, but we will not laugh again. This man has shown us that humans are not what we believed. They bleed, they break, but they rise. And for that, we will honor them." Gasps erupted from her soldiers, for warrior women rarely gave honor to outsiders. Yet here she was, declaring, "Respect for Earth." The plaza shook with the weight of her words. The humans could hardly believe it. Their enemy was now bowing to their spirit. The man stood straighter, his pain clear but his pride brighter. Around him, humans lifted their voices, chants of Earth rising. He had turned shame into pride, fear into hope, laughter into silence. The alien leader stepped closer to him. Her gaze sharp but softer than before. "You are one man, yet you carry the spirit of millions. You stood alone, yet you were not alone, for all of Earth stood with you. Perhaps your kind has more strength than we ever imagined." The man's lips curved into a faint smile. His voice came low. "We do not fight because we love war. We fight because we love life. And for life, we will rise every time." The alien soldiers lowered their heads slightly, not in defeat but in recognition. They could no longer call him fragile, no longer call him weak. They had seen his truth, and truth cannot be denied. The humans began to step forward, no longer hiding behind fear. They stood tall beside the man, their voices strong, their pride alive. The plaza, once filled with alien laughter, now shook with human courage. The alien leader turned to her people. "Remember this day," she said. "Remember the man who showed us what it means to endure, for today Earth has earned a place among warriors." The alien warriors raised their weapons, not in mockery but in salute. The sight made the humans gasp. For the first time, the warriors, who had insulted them, now showed respect. The man closed his eyes for a moment, his body aching. He had won no treasure, no crown, no prize. Yet he had won something greater. Honor, the honor of his people, the respect of his enemies. As the sun lowered over the city, the plaza still echoed with cheers. Earth had found its pride again, and the aliens, once full of laughter, now looked with new eyes, for they had learned a lesson that day. A lesson carved not in blood or victory, but in spirit. The human had shown them what true strength was, and in doing so, he had earned their respect. The plaza was still ringing with echoes of respect. The alien warriors no longer laughed. Their sharp eyes studied the man with careful silence. The human crowd stood taller, their fear replaced with fire. For the first time, Earth had not bowed. Earth had risen. The alien leader returned to her throne. Her golden armor glimmered in the fading sunlight. Her mind was heavy. She had seen something that unsettled her. A fragile man who carried the weight of his people and refused to fall, such will was rare, even among her kind. Her lips curved into a faint smile, sharp but thoughtful. She raised her hand and silence fell. Her voice carried strong and cold. You have shown us strength, human, not of the body, but of the spirit. For that you have earned respect. The humans gasped, hearing respect from the lips of their enemy. But the leader's next words made their hearts pound. And because of this, I offer you something rare. Come with us. Onto our ship, into our halls. Let us see what makes your spirit unbreakable. The crowd stirred, whispers spreading like fire. Some humans cried out in warning. It is a trap, they said. She will take him and never return him. Others shouted, do not go. Their voices trembled with fear, yet the man did not flinch. His eyes lifted to meet the leaders. Why? He asked, his voice steady. Why invite me when you could simply leave? The alien leader's smile deepened. Because I have seen many warriors. I have crushed kings, shattered generals, broken beasts, yet I have never seen one like you. I must know why your kind stands when broken, why you rise when you should fall. For that you must come with us. Her soldiers raised their voices in approval. Their cheers echoed with pride. To take a human into their ship was not only an invitation. It was a claim, a challenge, a dangerous offer. The humans in the crowd felt their stomachs twist. This was no honor. It was a risk. The man wiped blood from his lips. His body screamed for rest, but his spirit stood tall. If I go, he said, I go not as your subject, not as your toy, but as Earth's voice. If you want to know us, you will hear our truth. Gasps rippled through the humans. The courage in his words struck them as hard as his fight had. The alien leader tilted her head, her eyes narrowing. You dare to set terms? She asked, her tone sharp but not angry, almost amused. The man did not bow. I dare, he said, because I do not stand alone. Behind me stand billions, and if you seek to know us, you must respect us. The alien warriors exchanged looks. Their pride burned, but their respect grew stronger. The leader studied him, silence stretching, then she laughed, not cruelly but sharply. Very well, human. Come with us as Earth's voice, but know this. Inside our halls you will not be surrounded by your kind. You will be surrounded by warriors who do not forgive weakness. One wrong step, and you may not return. The man's lips curved into the faintest smile. Then I will not take a wrong step, he said. His tone steady, his eyes unyielding. The humans cried out again. Some begged him not to go. You proved enough, they shouted. You do not need to risk more. But others whispered of destiny. He must go, they said, for Earth's place among the stars begins with him. The alien leader extended her hand, a gesture rare among her kind. Her eyes glowed with curiosity. Come then, she said, step into our ship and let us see the heart of Earth. The man looked back at his people, his body battered, but his spirit burning. Do not fear, he told them, for wherever I go, I carry you with me. His words quieted them. Hope replaced fear. Slowly he stepped forward. The alien soldiers made way, their faces sharp with pride but also with respect. They watched him pass as if he were already something more than human. The plaza held its breath. The ship's ramp lowered, silver light spilling across the ground. The man walked toward it, every step heavy with meaning. The humans watched as their champion moved away. The aliens watched as their leader's gamble unfolded. The world itself seemed to pause. At the top of the ramp he stopped and turned, his voice carried back to the crowd. This is not an end, he said. It is a beginning. Whatever they seek they will find. Earth cannot be broken. His words rang out like a vow. The alien leader followed him aboard, her eyes sharp, her thoughts clouded with curiosity and something else, something close to respect. The doors of the ship began to close. The humans below raised their voices. Some cried, some cheered, some prayed. As the engines roared and the ship lifted into the sky, the humans felt pride stronger than fear. Their champion was not taken. He had chosen. He had stepped into danger not as a prisoner, but as Earth's voice. And above, inside the alien halls, he was about to face the greatest test yet. A dangerous offer had been accepted, and now the fate of Earth rested in the silence of the stars. The Kei alien ship rose above the city, its engines roaring like thunder. The humans below watched until it disappeared into the clouds. Their champion was gone, carried into the halls of their enemies. Yet instead of fear, pride burned in their hearts, for he had not been taken as prey. He had gone as Earth's voice. Inside the ship, the air was colder, sharper. The walls gleamed with silver metal, strange symbols glowing faintly. Alien warriors lined the passageways, their eyes sharp, watching the human as he walked. He was bruised, bleeding, his steps heavy. But his spirit stood taller than his body. His gaze never lowered, his fire never dimmed. The alien leader walked beside him, her golden cloak dragging across the steel floor. Her voice calm but piercing. "You stand in our halls now, human. Surrounded by those who have conquered worlds, you carry no weapon, no shield, no army. Tell me, what gives you the strength to walk here without fear?" The man turned his head, his voice steady though his body trembled. "Because I know what I carry Earth in me. Every hope, every dream, every tear, every struggle. They walk with me, and no weapon can cut that away." Her soldiers sneered, yet their eyes flickered with unease, for there was no tremor of fear in his words, only truth. The leader studied him, her sharp gaze searching for weakness, but she found only endurance. They reached a vast chamber, its ceiling high, its walls marked with scars of past battles. Here the alien council gathered, warrior women, draped in armor of different worlds. Their voices filled the chamber like storm winds. "Why is he here?" one demanded. "Why waste time on fragile flesh?" Another spat, "Break him now and be done with it." Their laughter rose again, cruel and sharp. The leader silenced them with a single raised hand. Her voice rang clear. "He stands here because he has earned the right. He stood against one of ours and did not fall. His spirit is unlike any I have seen." The council scoffed, but their eyes lingered on the human. He looked at them without flinching, his voice cut through their noise. "You call me fragile, yet I stand. You call me weak, yet I endure. You call me prey, yet I refuse to kneel. What is weakness then, if not surrendering before the fight is done?" The chamber fell into uneasy silence. The alien leaders shifted in their seats. Their pride resisted, but his words pierced. One finally spoke, her tone softer. "You are only one man. Why should we respect an entire world because of you?" The man's voice carried across the chamber. "Because I am not only myself, I am every human who has ever fallen and risen again. I am every child who dreams, every mother who weeps, every hand that builds, every voice that cries for freedom. If I stand, it is because we all stand. If I rise, it is because we all rise. That is humanity." The chamber stirred. The alien warriors whispered among themselves, for his words carried weight, heavier than blades. The leader of the warrior women stood tall, her golden eyes fierce. She looked upon her council and said, "You came to mock Earth, but what do you see now? Do you still see prey, or do you see a people who cannot be broken?" The council was silent. Their pride warred with truth, but truth was heavier. Slowly, one by one, they lowered their heads, not in defeat, but in respect. For even the proudest warrior cannot deny what is before their eyes. The man stood, broken in body but unbroken in will. His presence alone had shifted the hearts of warriors who once mocked his kind. The alien leader turned to him, her voice strong. "You have done more than survive. You have changed us. Never again will Earth be spoken of as weak. Never again will humans be laughed at in our halls. For today you showed us what true strength is." The words spread through the chamber like fire. Soldiers who had once jeered now lifted their weapons in salute. Not mockery, but respect. The man closed, his eyes for a moment, his body trembling with exhaustion, yet his spirit burned brighter than ever. Back on Earth, the people waited, watching the skies. Fear clashed with hope. Then the ship descended once more. The ramp lowered, and the man stepped out, battered, scarred, but standing. The humans erupted in cheers. Their voices shook the air. The alien leader appeared behind him, her gaze sweeping across the crowd. "People of Earth," she declared, "you are no longer beneath us, you are no longer prey, you are warriors in your own right. Today, one of your own has earned respect not only for himself, but for your world." The humans wept, cheered, and shouted. Their pride, once buried under fear, now roared to life. The man raised his voice, though weak. "This is not my victory. It is ours. Every human, every voice, every dream. Together we rose, and together we are seen." The plaza shook with voices of unity. Children raised their hands, soldiers saluted, mothers cried with pride. The aliens, once filled with arrogance, now stood silent, watching a world awaken. The leader turned back to her people, her voice sharp. "Remember this day. Remember the human who stood against us. Remember that strength is not only muscle, not only weapons, but spirit. And spirit is something even we must honor." And so it was. One man with no weapon, no shield, no crown, had changed everything. He had turned mockery into silence, silence into respect, respect into honor. The galaxy would never see Earth the same way again, and humanity, once thought fragile, now stood as something greater, because of one man, the human who changed everything.